Apollo's moon mystery. What they discovered will shock you. Something strange happened when humans first touched the moon, and almost nobody talks about it. Not the celebration, not the famous words, but what followed after they came back. Because the truth is, going to the moon didn't just change history. It brought something unexpected back with it. Before I continue with this story, I want to ask you something. What time are you listening to this right now? Where are you from? Drop a comment below, and please like, follow, then subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on the notification button. It all started during one of the most intense rivalries the world has ever seen. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a battle for dominance. Not on land, not in the air, but in space. Then in 1961, a bold voice cut through the tension. John F. Kennedy stepped forward and made a promise that sounded insane at the time. He said America would send a man to the moon and bring him back safely before the decade ended. People doubted it. Some laughed. Others were afraid, because no one had ever gone that far and returned. But that promise gave birth to something powerful, the Apollo program. And from that moment, the race against time began. Deep inside NASA, engineers worked day and night, building a machine so massive it looked unreal. The Saturn V rocket. This wasn't just a rocket. It was a controlled explosion, designed to carry humans beyond Earth. But before they could even try, something went terribly wrong. In 1967, inside a sealed capsule during a simple ground test, a fire suddenly erupted. It spread so fast, there was no time to escape. 3 astronauts, Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee, were trapped inside. Within seconds, it was over. The mission, Apollo 1, never even left the ground. And for a moment, the dream of reaching the moon felt cursed. But instead of stopping, they pushed harder. They fixed everything, took every risk, again. Because failure wasn't an option. Then came 1969. The world went silent as the Saturn V roared into the sky, carrying 3 men into the unknown aboard Apollo 11. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins. Days later, something unbelievable happened. Armstrong stepped onto the moon. Not in a dream, not in imagination, in real life. For the first time ever, a human being stood on another world. It should have been the greatest moment in history, and it was. But what happened next is where things get strange. When the astronauts returned to their spacecraft after walking on the moon, they brought something back with them. Not aliens, not rocks, dust. But this wasn't ordinary dust. It clung to everything. It floated unnaturally in the air. It got into their eyes, their noses, their lungs. And then, the symptoms began. Sneezing, burning eyes, throat irritation. The astronauts described the smell as something like burnt gunpowder. Their bodies were reacting to something completely unknown. Scientists later called it lunar hay fever. Think about that for a second. Humans traveled nearly 400,000 kilometers, stepped onto another world, and came back with a reaction their bodies didn't understand. The moon looked calm, silent, harmless, but it wasn't. That dust was razor sharp under a microscope. Nothing like the smooth dust on Earth. It had never been touched by wind or water, so it remained jagged, almost aggressive. And they breathed it in. No one knew what long-term effects it could cause. For the first time, the victory felt uncertain, and space reminded humanity of something important. Just because you can reach somewhere doesn't mean you fully understand it. Then came another moment that proved how dangerous this mission really was. In 1970, Apollo 13 came. Everything was fine until it wasn't. An explosion hit the spacecraft. Oxygen started leaking. Power started failing. 3 astronauts, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes, were now floating in space with limited air, limited power, and almost no chance of survival. Their mission to the moon was over. Now it was a race just to stay alive. Back on Earth, NASA engineers had to improvise solutions using only the materials already inside the spacecraft. No second chances, no rescue team, just intelligence against time. And somehow they made it back, alive. After that, a few more missions reached the moon. The last one, Apollo 17, left in 1972. And then, nothing. Since then, no more human footsteps on the moon. Just silence. But here's the question that still lingers. Why did we stop exploring the moon? After everything, the success, the risks, the strange reactions. Since then, humans never went back. Was it cost? Was it danger? Or was it the realization that space still held mysteries we weren't ready for? Because Apollo didn't just prove we could reach the moon, it revealed something deeper. That beyond our world lies an environment we barely understand. Thanks for watching this video. For more videos like this, please don't forget to like, share, and follow this page.